Alright folks, welcome to the video here at the Dustin Disc YouTube channel. Now so far on this channel I've shown you a few different kinds of courses. I've shown you short, beginner-friendly courses, I've played a more open course at my home course at Municipal Park, and I've played in the woods at Cottage Hill. But this combines a little bit of everything. There's a lot of woods here, there's a lot of distance. This is probably the hardest course in the state of Alabama. It's regarded as one of the best in the state of Alabama, probably one of the best and most difficult in the Southeast. Top pro players actually play here on the blue tees, and it's very challenging for them. So I'm going to be playing on the white tees today, more for amateur type players, I guess you could say, but not the red tees, which is more for beginners. It's very windy as well today, if you haven't noticed already. I've already played the back nine actually. I played the back nine first, but I'm going to release these in order of front nine, back nine. So just know that I've already played 9 holes before I start here. It's just how I had to do it because the course was pretty crowded, so I had to just pick a place to start and edit it all together. So without further ado, let's get here with hole 1. Now, hole 1 is 481 feet. And there's basically 2 routes. The one to the left that goes over the red tee, and then over towards the right, which is going to be towards the right of the red tee side. It's a big tailwind right now. It's going to stable up any disc that I throw and cause it to fade more left, more drastically. So I have to throw something a bit more understable in order to prevent my disc from fading left too early. And I really want to try to get up this lane on the right because this hole is eventually going to dogleg to the left. It is a par 4, so it gives you a little bit more flexibility on just making sure that you focus on placement rather than distance. This is a bonus birdie for sure. I'm really just trying to play for position and give myself a decent approach and really just play for the par, as I am on most holes on this course, I feel like. Whoa! I got a lot more ground action than I thought I would with that. All right, so there's where I started. There's Tracy and Roku. She's there with me today. You'll occasionally hear Roku bark and whine because he wants to try to play fletch with the disc that I'm throwing. But anyway, that's where I started. And that came all the way up here and flared to the left of there. And like I said, the basket's a dogleg left. It's right there, as you can see. And so now I just got to try to get up and down, maybe set up a birdie putt, but at the very least make sure I get close and get my par. I rolled it right too much, but I still should be able to approach a par from there. So as you can see, I'm up in there. Definitely pulled it too far to the right, like I said. So now I gotta try to find a way out of there to just give myself a chance at a par, really. Yeah, I mean, this sucks. This is like 80 trees in front of me. That's thorns. Don't stab me, please. This thing. Might be a thing. This is not a thing. All right. Don't you laugh at me.
I'm not laughing.
Oh my God. This sucks. I'm going to wind up getting stabbed. I can feel it.
I'll move your leg.
Oh. You know what? I'll take the par over getting stabbed and all that other business. All right, so now we're at hole 2, 252 feet, so not too far. The basket is to the left here a bit. I don't know if you can really see it through all these trees, but it's that orange thing there in the background to the left. So I have to throw something that's going to go straight for probably the first 150 to 200 feet and then have it break to the left the last bit. And then obviously there's trees right in front of the tee pad. So that means you could instantly embarrass yourself by hitting a tree literally 3 or 4 feet right in front of the tee pad. Just gonna try to avoid that, obviously, and get down there and see what we can do. Okay, buddy. That is a feels bad. So my disc is way in the woods to the right. We'll go there in a second and try to go approach for par, but I don't see that one happening. We're gonna do a celebrity shot. Tracy's gonna get on the red tee and throw a shot at the basket. So Tracy, grab your disc of choice, try to get it down there. All right, celebrity shot. Tracy, let's go. All right then. Okay. You're the best. We're gonna do another celebrity shot. Look at me. The Roku celebrity shot. Roku. Roku. All right, so I'm off to these woods on the right-hand side there, as you can see my disc. So you're not gonna see me in frame. There's like no way for me to set up the camera that way. I'm just gonna try to get myself out of there and try to get a par. Oh. Yeah, so I basically had absolutely nothing in the woods. I just had to like pitch out and hope for the best, and well, I hit a tree, but I just didn't have really a way out. So this is gonna be a very difficult par putt now. I'm pinched between all this junk, so I don't know how I'm gonna get around it. Probably gonna want taking a bogey here, but we'll see if we can get a decent run at it. It's actually the best look I have. Well, that's gonna be a bogey. All right, so now we're at hole number 3, 246 feet from the white and blue tee. They're the same tee actually on this hole. And this hole is straight cheeks. I'm just gonna say it. I know I'm an amateur player, so like my judgment is very limited, but this is very much a poke and hope hole for me. I mean, there's just like no real gaps or real any way to get to the basket, at least for me as an am from the white tee. I mean, basically it's just poke and hope. Like you just poke this down there and hope for the best. There's just so many trees. All these gaps are so small. And then the basket sits up there on top of a hill. So you need a disc that's gonna fly straight, get through one of these tiny gaps, and then somehow go a bit towards the right. But the thing is, that would normally mean a forehand for a right-handed player, but I just don't see a way to get through without going too far to the right at some point. I don't know. We're just gonna throw something and hope for the best, like I always do on this hole. Oh my God. I got the luckiest tree bounce of my life. That's insane. Yeah, this throw was straight up unreasonable. Just ridiculously lucky. I'm actually inside circle 1. I have a tree right in front of me I have to get around, but I mean, I can't stress enough how bad that throw was and how lucky I actually got. Like, I did not earn this lie at all. I deserve that. Wind lifted it up. Headwind's always gonna lift your putts up. So I threw it straight, but the headwind caught it, lifted it up, hit the band. I'll take a par here. All right, now we're at our first truly long boy on the course. This is a 762 foot par 5. I think it's my first par 5 on the channel. It's a long one. And it's very windy and a lot can happen on this hole. And there's a tailwind, so I'm gonna try to throw something more understable, try to get down there as far as I can, then hope for the best. Most unstable Hades on a tailwind. Watch how it stables out to the tailwind. Yeah, see, normally that disc would go really hard to the right in neutral wind, but because it's a tailwind, it makes it more stable, so it's actually going to straighten it out and push it more left than it normally would go. That's why I picked something way more understable, to make sure that in a tailwind, I could go pretty straight and still get a left finish. If I would have thrown something more stable, it would have hooked left way sooner and I wouldn't have been able to get really any distance. So unfortunately, even though I got down the fairway a pretty decent bit, maybe about 250 to 300 feet, it's pretty uphill, so a little bit hard to push for super distance. But yeah, I landed right in the middle of this cluster of things. I was really hoping to be more to the left where it's way more open. Maybe that's where something more stable would have actually been better, because it would have hooked left a little bit harder at the end of its flight. But, you know, that's the mistake that you can sometimes make when you're out here trying to make decisions on the fly and the wind's changing and you're trying to figure out what you want to do. You got to dedicate to something, go for it, and I just happen to not get the best placement. So I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to do once I get up there. We'll just have to take a look and see. Well, I'm in another group of trees. All right, so we're approaching my lie. It's gonna be my third shot. basket, as you can see, tucked in there behind all these trees. Again, I needed to get something to one side of the fairway instead of dead center where all the clusters of trees are. Again, that's why placement's just so important. I think I'm gonna try to throw something understable, or throw something overstable, excuse me, on the backhand and flex it towards the right and then have it come back left. My goal is to flex it right past this group of trees and kind of head that direction down the pipe and then have it fade left at the end of the flight on a backhand. That's gonna be the goal. Too high. Well, I played aggressively and I paid the price. I am off here to your left in the woods. And I'm not sure how I'm going to approach to the basket from there. But this is my fourth shot, so this is technically for birdie. But really at this point, I'm just trying to salvage what I can, trying to take a huge number, because I got really deep on this left side of the fairway and all this junk. All right, so here's me going for par. I'm finally in the fairway, so that's, I mean, progress in some regard. But this is basically my par putt from really far away. So at this point, it's about salvaging a bogey and just trying to take a super huge number. And that's pretty much right next to the basket for a bogey. All right, folks, so we're at hole 5, 250 feet, par 3. Basket just up the hill a little bit to the right behind some trees. So just gotta throw a forehand out there, have it ride the left side of the fairway, and then come up and check to the right. So now this is where I landed with a Raptor. And I got up here a little ways, but hit some trees and got a decent distance to try to get a birdie here. But we'll see what we can do. That's going to be a par. All right, so this is hole 6, 525-foot par 4. Basically just want to push something straight over the red tee in front of me and towards that broken down tree way at the end of the fairway where that tree snapped. Kind of want to get something down that way for the most part to set myself up for approach for a chance at a birdie. By the way, down below, I put a link to a tournament that happened at this course. That way you folks can see some professional players play this course and also see, you know, fly-throughs of all the holes to actually see where everything is, because it's really hard for me to film that kind of stuff as I don't like having a drone or anything along those lines. Roundabout way, but I did it. So I got up here pretty decent ways, but I definitely put myself in a bad position. I'm behind these trees. I needed to be more to the left more than anything. So going dead straight basically kind of hurt me more than I thought it would. So I'm just going to try to pump a forehand down there or something like that. I'm not really sure what I can really do. I could just lay up and play for the par by just going really short into the left, but that's no fun. So basically in a tournament, I would do something like this. So in a tournament, I would do that because I would just play for position and play for par because I know that there's no way I can really attack the hole. But I'll try to attack the hole just for fun. Got up there a little bit more. And well, this is what aggression will do to you. It puts you behind more stuff even if you get up the fairway. My other disc was shorter than this by probably a good 50 or 60 feet, but it was basically wide open to the basket. So that's essentially just kind of the differences between playing smart and just kind of taking your medicine and taking a higher stroke or taking a gamble and putting yourself in a spot where like maybe you have a chance to save a stroke, but you also set yourself up to potentially take even more of a penalty in the long run, as this is a really, really tough shot. Oh, under the basket to save par. Well, unfortunately, I didn't realize that that wasn't really in frame very well, probably. But yeah, the disc basically just landed right there. I just did kind of a little bit of a baby flex forehand with the zone to get it to go left, but then be able to fade out straight. And so it's right under the basket, as you can see. So that's going to be the tap in par here at 6. All right, so this is hole 7, about 250 feet, and this is a treacherous hole because it's actually an island green. It's the first time we've had an island green, I think, on the channel. You have 2 routes. As a right-handed player, you can take a forehand through that left-handed route, or you can take a backhand that's going to take you over the red tee, but the gap is skinnier. And it's hard to tell from here, but if you look down there, the basket's on an island. And so the play for most people is to lay up, to basically throw something that's going to land short of the water, and then you pitch over to the island on your second shot and just take your par. Maybe you have a birdie putt from the coastline, but you really don't want to go on the water and take a huge number by going out of bounds. Most people are only really going to go for the island off the tee if they need to really score. Like it's the final round of a tournament, they're behind, they know they need to catch up to get into cash or something like that, and then they take the risk. So personally for me, I'm just going to play like I normally play. Now there is a bit of a headwind here, so it's going to make my disc a little bit more flippy on a forehand and roll it to the left a bit at the start of its flight. So I got to try to account for that a bit. I didn't get down there as much as I wanted, but not bad. So yeah, I did not get up there enough at all to really try to go for this island. You can see the island a lot better now. And so I can't even go for this. So I have to actually just play for the bogey. It's just such a small target play on that island. And with this headwind, it's just damn near impossible. So I'm just gonna have to stick something as close to the coastline as I can get to try to make sure I can pitch and get on the island on my third shot and get a bogey. A softer plastic that's stickier, so I don't want a lot of ground action here. I want it to stick once it hits the ground, so I don't want it to slide into the water. Perfect. All right, so wind is blowing now right to left, and a little bit of headwind as well, so a bit of a crosswind, I guess you'd call it. I'm just gonna try to get on the island and then get my bogey putt. Trying to actually go for it. If I overthrow it, it's going to go in the water behind the basket. So definitely want to throw it short and just get it on the island. So it's actually so windy, Tracy has to hold the tripod to make sure it doesn't fall over. But yeah, and the headwind's going to lift my disc a little bit, so I got to be prepared for that. That was scary, but we're up there and that's going to be a par, or a bogey actually. All right, we're at hole 8, 480 feet pretty much, par 4. It's the only open hole on the course. You basically go into a giant field right there. Problem is it's a giant headwind, so I can't really rip on a disc on this hole, and I'm going to get my distance cut off because the headwind's going to always decrease your distance. So I can't really get up there and play for much with this wind as bad as it is. I just have to try to get through the gap. So here's my approach. Really stinks to get to like the one hole you can really bomb on and then just have crazy headwind blowing in your face where you can't really do anything with it. So I can throw something understable that would normally go right and get pushed left by the wind, or I can throw and have it straighten out so I can be more dead at the basket without it looking left as hard as it normally would.
Whoa.
Yeah, I tried thinking that the wind would push it like more left than that, but it pushed it left initially, but then it came out of it pretty hard. Also threw it nose up, and anytime you throw a disc nose up in a headwind, it just stalls it and makes it dig into the ground. So I didn't really get the way I wanted to, but it is what it is. Got to just, you know, play what I can in the wind. So it was too windy to hear me. So basically what I was trying to say here was that there was a big tailwind. And in a tailwind, when you try to putt, you have to aim higher because the tailwind's going to knock your disc down. So that's what I was trying to explain here. But again, I had to mute the sound because of the wind.
There you go.
Made it work. Little doggo break. Roku. Hey, Roku. Sit. Good boy. Hey, Roku. Paw. Hey, Roku. Paw. Good boy. Hey, Roku. Down. Good boy. Grass. Okay. What's the biscuit? Dirty roller. Come on, buddy. Hey, buddy. Come on. Hey. Too much run for you? So that was my dog Roku. Welcome him to the channel. You'll see him every now and then. He actually can, when he wants to, actually catch frisbees in midair and stuff like that. But he's already been walking the course quite a lot today, so he's pretty tired, so he's just kind of chilling. But we're hanging out after Avatar Roku because we're big Avatar The Last Airbender friends, which if you've seen some of the disc in my bag that I did in the bag video and the pin I have in my bag, and you kind of knew that already. But I take him with me sometimes, but he can be distracting. Every now and then he likes to whine or bark. Obviously he wants to play fetch at every disc that he sees. So don't bring him all the time because sometimes it can honestly be kind of like torture for him that we can't let him fetch all the discs that he wants. But yeah, we brought him out today, so I figured I'd introduce him to all of you. As you've already met Tracy, of course. But yeah, the wind is it's a thing. As we're now actually approaching hole 9, this is the last hole of this front 9. Again, I played the front 9 second and played the back 9 first, but I'm going to release the front 9 video first to keep it in order, just because of the traffic on the course is kind of how I had to do it. So this is 273 feet. White tee and blue tee are the same tee on this hole. So it's up there. It's uphill and it's pretty tight once you get up the fairway. So I got a nasty tailwind, which is going to kind of knock this down a bit and also stable it out. So you want to throw something a little bit more understable so that it'll stable out. See that tailwind just knocked it down, but luckily I was able to have it skip up the hill and get some good ground action. So I should be able to get the par at the very, very least. I'm going to try a couple more discs for fun. That's my official shot. Let's see if I throw something more understable and a faster speed if I get a better result. Oh,
I know, you want to run after it.
pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Here I am. Skipped up here. Putt's probably about 50, 60 feet, but I'm putting in this. It's windy. And that's when it dies down. So I gotta aim high because it's getting knocked down. Oh, now it's just picked up. Been dealing with a lot of this today. Oh! Oh, I read the tailwind perfectly. I just put it up there and let it elevate its way back down. I knew the wind would knock it down. So that's when you can kind of just angle it high and just let it drop. So, well, there we go. That's it for the front nine. I think I got maybe 2 birdies here on the front nine, or maybe 3. I think only 2. I think it's just the last two, actually, 8 and 9 that I got the birdies on. I know I had a couple of bogeys in there though as well, so probably ended the front 9 here even, or maybe like 1 over, 2 over, I can't really remember. I'll see the score below. And I've already played the back 9, because I recorded that first, but I'm not going to spoil that, so be on the lookout for the back 9 coming up here very soon. Again, please, if you enjoy the content, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, leave comments, get that algorithm up, and help me grow this channel. Appreciate it so much, and see you next time on the back 9.